As you can see, I am very much snowed in. And that, I think, is why I'm turning to things like this. This is when you dig out the old board games or the cards or well, the computer and start fiddling around because I can't go outside, clearly, obviously. Hi, I'm back in after a bit of a break. And the topic I wanted to address today is that guess what? I just got put in Twitter jail and my cat, which is, I mean, it's a little comical that they put the cat in there because, of course, I thought I'd sneak into the other account I created just for lols, and they were like, no, Betty Illuminati can't go on Twitter either. And I'm like, fine, dude, whatever. I mean, I will just take my freely created silly content that some people seem to enjoy and other people seem to hate. It's a choice to another platform where it is at least released. Oh my god. So that was a bit of a bummer this morning, but I mean, cast not thy pearls before swine. It's not like Twitter is that important anymore either. I mean, there is always the technology that seems so important and dominant, like MySpace. Who remembers MySpace? You know, anyone? But it seems so great at the time, and then there comes a time when you drift and you migrate. And I've seen a lot of people gradually drifting away from Facebook. I basically only hold on because there's a lot of people in a lot of cities that I lived in before who I still care about. I still want to see their kids. I still want to see their Christmas trees. And it's been a lot of cats dying, unfortunately, because I'm old. But that's my last connection to those people. And then it will be out into the abyss. And even though part of my reasoning for moving to Reno was because I just felt this strong desire to disappear into the abyss, be invisible, hide, be a ghost, because Los Angeles has this really intense culture of seeing, being seen, displaying, hiding. I'm not hiding. You're not allowed to hide. And so did San Francisco and so did Portland. And when I moved here, I was really ready to be alone. And I'm lucky I've met a wonderful woman who to share my life with. So, yay! Very psyched about that. But I mean, just work obviously. So when I get the feeling that I want to say something, I can either say it to the cat, who just kind of looks at me and says, "What'd you do to my Twitter account?" Or I can say it to YouTube. Hi. And hope to entertain someone. But another thing I had on my mind that I was going to talk about on Twitter, but apparently they don't want my free content, so I will just take my labor elsewhere. I mean, this is a hobby. This isn't really labor, it's labor and getting paid. But anyway, yeah, it was this whole concept which has arisen lately, and which the Fire Festival debacle has really brought out of influencers or social media celebrities or people that like do these things use social media to express themselves, and very often they're artists. I mean, I'm a writer and artist too, and I can use social media to express my aesthetic and my ideas and my thoughts just because it's there and it's cool, and we didn't have this in the 90s. I mean, look, come on, my hair is gray. I'm not exactly a millennial, so I appreciate the technology we now have because when I was, I mean, imagine 1989. Yes, I was alive then. Me and my friends trying to make a movie that we'd written the script for, and we were so excited about it. We had all these costumes and dressed up and filming it with the VHS camera, then running up against, oh shit, we have no possible way to edit this. And it wasn't like we wanted to show it at Sundance. We just wanted to make something for fun. there is still that energy in the world, and that's the energy from which I draw from. Is a drive to create, which is probably why I'm on YouTube, because why do anything? But I drive to express. And a lot of artists and writers are in different relationships with this. And I respect all paths. I understand my path is extremely unusual. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Well, certainly not. I would not recommend becoming a writer to anyone. Why an artist? I would say keep it as a hobby and learn how to make cars. But, oh well, someone made some mistakes back in the day, and now I'm stuck with non-remunerative, useless, dead art, such as these oil paintings you see behind me. Yes, I painted some of these, some of them a long time ago. And fundamentally, that's a dead art. Novel writing is a dead art. I mean, YouTube is not. That was why I turned to social media, was I was like, this is an art which is growing and alive and vibrant. But that too has its time, and that too will die. And sometimes when it dies, it's just when you get fed up with the bullshit, which I have to admit, the amount of times I've been put into Twitter jail for like no reason they explained to me, or had to deal with the nonsense of, fuck it, I can't listen to 10,000 people's voices at once yelling and screaming about what they think is wrong with the world. I mean, I know a lot of shit is wrong. I was rather, I suppose the word is promiscuous, in following people because I honestly care. I honestly want to know what the pulse of what the world has to say is. And I suppose I have kind of a naive view that this would be like a newspaper to give me the ambient awareness, as they describe it, of what was going on in the world. And I did do that to a certain degree, but there were drawbacks. Let us not forget the fateful incident of, this is so weird, tenants forwarding my Twitter to my landlord, like combing it, and I'm like, how much time do you have? My God, I mean, I don't have that kind of time, but maliciously, and some people aren't very nice. Some people take screenshots and mock shit, and look, sorry, I'm not as good as you, or as perfect as you, or have the right degree of proper wokeness, or use the right words. I'm sorry. I'm an old woman who's in love with the internet and her girlfriend, and really just wants to make entertaining little bits of things for fun. I don't really, and because I can only watch so much goddamn Netflix. I mean, seriously, I have watched American Horror Story so many times I have it memorized I can quote it. That's nothing to be proud of. It's actually embarrassing. I know there are a lot of other things to do, like, for example, we have books. Yes, there are a lot of books. Yes, books exist. Yes, I could read them. However, as the novel too is a dead art, and my mind has become so accustomed to focusing on words on a screen, even though, I mean, there's so many good books. There's so many good books that's so much better than Stream of Consciousness rants of randos on Twitter, or any of it that I've read and that people have labored over and spent years over. But for some reason, I'm drawn back to the present digital form, what I think has something to do with the idea of being in the immediate now. What drew me to Twitter was the concept of being in the immediate now, watching things go down in real time, or like getting news and everything. And that's fascinating, to be in the present. Because so much of my mind writing novels has been in the past, various episodes, memories, responding, remembering, transcribing. And those novels didn't get published because who wants to publish me? So I was like, well, here we go. But that's just my random 2 cents. Take it with a grain of salt. So another thing that was on my mind was I've been reading a lot about another YouTuber who admittedly, okay, I haven't seen her videos. I don't know what her deal is. I mean, I did. There's a lot on YouTube. Like, you probably know if you came across this random shit. But let me just clarify, this is the end of February. Her name is Elle Nash, and apparently she got a dumb tattoo. I'm assuming she's young, because that's when you do that. I have some dumb tattoos too. But put it on YouTube and got bullied so hard, she was driven to delete all social media. Like, boom, disappear. And admittedly, there's been times when I've wanted to do that, when I feel like, because of the sort of writing I do, or the sort of art I create, because it is very personal, I need to hide and disappear otherwise. So it's not to take up too much space, because mentally ill people are supposed to hide. Now, I know nothing about this girl's mental illness status. I'm fully clarifying that I don't know a lot about this. But I would say, and I've said this before, please try to understand that those of us who are driven by this bizarre compulsion, and I call it a bizarre compulsion because to create with no product, only for a necessity to be heard, necessity to get your voice out, whether or not you have anything to say at all, is a compulsion shared by many people, which the internet has enabled and allowed. And which, honestly, I think is great. I read Twitter when I'm not in Twitter jail, and I see so many funny things, and smart things, and wise things, from random people who might not otherwise be recognized. I'm just glad to hear this stuff. I saw some rather terrible take that I reacted to that was that, oh, all those amateur comedians should just disappear. And I've heard that take before from usually very elitist, like, well, this was elitist scenester types who were talking about how all the bad bands should just disappear and all the bad artists should just disappear. When, I'm probably a bad artist. But no, this is the cat that got denied her Twitter account. Look at this cat. Can you deny Twitter account for that face? But anyway, I mean, all people who create anything had to go through a learning process where they probably were not that great, probably sucked. I mean, the only one I've ever heard of is Arthur Rimbaud, and he's so back in the past that we just don't know about all the bad poetry he wrote, because it's 1600s or 1800s or something, and it's ashes to ashes, dust to dust. But I can tell you, I have written a huge amount of bad poetry, and I still don't think my poetry is that great. And I have been moving from medium to medium, trying them out, as one does, because it's important to stay current if you want longevity as an artist. And some are more promising than others. Personally, I think a medium that's going to cut people off and deny them the ability to speak and silence them, fundamentally, without even explaining what they did. Because I don't know what I, or the cat, did wrong. I thought I was being sort of cheerful and positive at random. And just like, usual day. Usual, I'm on disability, it's snowing, I'm bored, let's go on Twitter. But it's like having someone show up at your door and arrest you and not tell you why. I mean, except obviously way less serious, but that I'm sure it would be a lot harder to get out of than this, when I can just migrate to somewhere else.